Hey everyone, it's Lisa and Bill, and this is not a 35-week pregnancy update. This is a labor and delivery update because my water broke and we had her already. So, yeah.
Slightly delayed?
Slightly. It's a very delayed video, but it's been a crazy 2 weeks.
Life actually happened.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Life has taken over and we couldn't be happier right now, honestly, but the past week was the most physically and emotionally draining week of my life and your life, probably.
Not physically for me, just emotionally.
Physically for me.
Physically for her. She was a trooper.
So we're going to talk about it all right now. So Bill wanted to be a part of it and I also wanted him to be a part of it because sometimes you say stuff and I forget things and he'll just chime in and say. So.
And then there's some parts that you don't remember.
Okay.
Or weren't aware of.
Okay. So, where do we start? So I did my 34-week pregnancy update, I think on Sunday or Monday. And on Tuesday, March 4th, March 3rd, we were going to bed at around 10:30, 11 o'clock. And all day long I felt like she was up in my boobs. Like I felt like she was up past my bra line. I felt like she was stretching her feet up there. So when we got in bed, I told Bill, I said, oh my gosh, I just feel like she's up here. And Bill said, well, put your arms over your head. So I was laying in bed like this, and it felt really good. And I turned on my side after a while, and all of a sudden I felt like a pop. Can't even explain it, but it just felt like something popped down there. And I told Bill, I said, something just popped. And he's like, what? And all of a sudden I got a really bad, like a period cramp, one cramp. So I got out of bed because it was that bad. And I was hunched over and I started walking to the bathroom, and I got to the bathroom just in time because as soon as I sat down on the toilet, water just started coming out.
I'm not peeing!
And
I'm not peeing!
I'm yelling at him because our bathroom is connected to the master bedroom, and the bathroom is connected. So he's literally, the bed's here and our bathroom's like right here. So I'm peeing with the door open because I literally made it that fast to the toilet. And I'm telling him, Bill, I'm not peeing. I'm not peeing. And he's going, what? What are you talking about? So he runs in the bathroom and he's looking at me. First time he's ever seen me on the toilet, folks. Let me just say that too, because that was a little embarrassing. But when this was happening, it was just very scary. So
she was hysterical at this point.
It was coming out, and I was freaking out because I was only 35 weeks. So I called my doula, and she said, well, I think you need to call your provider. Call your midwife, see what she wants you to do. She said, it sounds like your water broke or ruptured. She said, so call her and let me know. So I called my midwife. I think I woke her up because it was like 11:30 at this point. And I said to her, I said, I'm sitting on the toilet and water is coming out. I said, I wiped and there's a pink it's not bloody yet, but it was pink. I was freaking out. She said, you need to come in. It sounds like your water broke or ruptured. So I hung up with her, called my doula back, told her what was going on. Water's still coming out. Literally, like somebody had a pitcher and was pouring it like this.
It wasn't a gusher. It was
just like
a steady
pour,
stream.
like a pour. So thank God somebody in our community, I think it was Allie Page. Allie told me to buy the Always overnight maxi pads. These things are like freaking diapers. They go from front to back and they soak up so much stuff. I had them because I was like, I packed my hospital bag a few weeks ago and I was ready to go and I wanted to have those for when I came home. So I asked Bill, I said, get my pads. I shoved a few in my purse. I put one on. I said, get my hospital bag. Bill was standing there just looking at me. He's like, what do we do? I'm like, go change your clothes, get my hospital bag, and let's go.
Because in my mind, we're taking the Bradley method class. They said the last thing you want to do is, as soon as your water breaks, run to the hospital because right. she's saying wait till you're 6 or 7 centimeters and then go.
Originally we wanted to labor at home. We didn't want to go in until we were until we were 5 or 6 centimeters. But because I was only 35 weeks, they wanted me in right away. So we get the bag, we get in the car. Bill,
bag was pre-packed.
Yeah, I had packed my bag a few weeks ago.
Yep.
We had those big adult diaper pads, the sheets that I was going to line the mattress in that I never actually did yet because I didn't think I needed to yet. But Bill grabbed one and he put it on the seat of the car.
That was a whole other argument, but...
Oh my God. Yeah, so then
She leaked the whole way there?
I leaked the whole way there in the pad, not past the pad.
No.
So he lets me off at the hospital. I start walking in. I walked it. Okay.
11:19 we left the house. 17 minutes later, got to the hospital.
Yeah.
Record time.
Which normally it's a 30-minute, 35-minute. If there's traffic, it could be 45 minutes or more.
No traffic.
There was no traffic because it was
no
close
traffic.
to midnight.
It was awesome.
So he drops me off at the front door. I go in through emergency. I tell the guy, my water broke. Where do I go? And so he starts taking me. He goes, oh, I'll take you there right now. And I'm like, well, wait, my husband's coming. He goes, no, I'll bring him. Just come with me. So as I'm walking, water's coming out. So this guy's walking me to the back, and I said, hang on a second. I need to stop in the bathroom. I stopped in the bathroom, changed my pad, because that's how much it was happening. Came back out, and he walked me into labor and delivery. And then Bill came shortly after. So they got me in a room. We got the room with the tub. There was nobody else in labor and delivery at this point. We were the only people that were admitted at this point. So we got the room with the tub. They put me in a bed. She wanted to check to make sure it was my membranes were that my bag had ruptured. My bag had ruptured. They put me in a gown, and what else? They pretty much came in and she said, you know, you should probably try and get some rest, because when your contractions start, you're not going to get rest.
And they told us that because you're 35 weeks, we're not sending you home. Or normally, if your water just broke, they go, you're not dilated at all, go home, come back later. But they're like, nope, you're in it for the long haul.
Yeah.
And we also found out at that point that the midwife that we wanted to deliver wasn't going to be able to do it because it was a preemie. So the doctor.
It would be the doctor. Which I have no problem. I really like the doctor. She's been my gynecologist for the past 10 or 15 years.
And she will like her even more.
And I love her
later
even
in the
more
story.
now, and you'll understand why. So we did have a birth wish list that I had given to my midwife, and they had it, and it was very apparent that every time a nurse came in, they had read my birth plan because they knew what I wanted.
Being the only one on the floor at the time, I think everybody had a chance to read it too.
Yeah, and it was really cool because they were all interested. They all wanted to know, they all had questions. They wanted to know why I wanted my placenta. Like, it was kind of nice just to know that they had read it and they were respecting what they could respect at this point. So, yeah, so Bill had one of the chairs with the pull-out. He kind of tried to lay down and get some rest. He was actually snoring, and I was trying to get some rest. And then
We got about an hour and a half.
it was about midnight, 12:30 by the time this happened.
No, it was about when we got to lay down.
Yeah.
Was probably about 2.
Oh yeah, by the
was
time we
about
were sleeping. Yeah.
2:30ish, because I know we didn't get much sleep because at 4 o'clock first
Well,
contraction hit.
When we were on our way to the hospital, I had texted my mom, or I had texted Kelly, and I told her my water broke, and then I called my mom, and she was sleeping, and I said, I don't want you to come to the hospital, but I want you to know we're going to the hospital because my water just broke. And I was pretty hysterical. But I said, just stay home, because she was like, what can I do? I'm going to come. I'm like, just don't come. I will let you know what's happening, and then when I know, we'll let you know. So come 4 a.m, I was apparently sleeping, and I was woken up by a contraction, and I woke up crying because it was that bad. So I finally...
That was probably one of the scariest hours for me, because you were in some pain.
It was pretty bad
It was
pain.
bad.
When people ask you what does a contraction feel like, I always used to say, does it feel like a period cramp or is it like a stabbing pain? It is like both, but it is like somebody has your uterus and is pulling it and stabbing it, and I can't even explain it, but it is the worst pain. Thank God it only lasts for that small stretch of time, and you have time in between to breathe and get ready for the next one. So they came in and checked me at, what time did they check me? 7? The first time?
The first time, where you were 3 centimeters?
Yeah.
That was 7.
Okay, so they checked me at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I was 3 centimeters. My doctor came in at 9 and checked me again, and I was 5 centimeters. No pain meds at this point, nothing. Still just by 9 o'clock, I was managing the contractions.
After the first hour, once you realized
what they felt
this
like.
is a contraction,
Right.
and this is what it's going to feel like, she was pretty much just, she'd bear down, and it'd be like, okay, here it comes. We'd give her a moment, and it was nothing. It was like a period cramp is what she would look like. It's like, ooh. Okay.
But the cool thing was this bed that they had me on had these grips on the side, so it was like a video game kind of. They had these big foam grips, so every time a contraction came, I would hold on to the grips and I would just and I would do this breathing that my doula taught me, like the horse lips, where you're like, because she said when you do that, it kind of just it pushes it out and it makes it feel better. So I was doing horse lips all day.
Distraction.
It's kind of a distraction. I was chewing gum. It was distracting me. I think at like 7, when did my mom show up? At like 8, I
8.
called her. I said, you know what, if you want to come at 8, I'm already 3 centimeters. Come on. So my mom came. I think by 9 o'clock, I had already updated Facebook that I was 5 centimeters. I was putting my makeup on in between contractions.
We have pictures of her putting her makeup on and fixing her eyebrows in between contractions.
They were bad. They were bad contractions. But, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I was managing them by just breathing and bearing down and chewing gum. And yes. So by 1 o'clock when they checked me, was it 1?
When you were 9?
No, by 1 o'clock I was 7 centimeters. Yep. And then my doctor came in at 4 o'clock and I was 9 centimeters. And I was 90% effaced, but I was a -2 because she wasn't coming down.
Doula got there about noon?
Yeah, my doula got there about noon and started doing stuff with me. I was on the ball, I was in the tub. She had the rebozo. We were doing a bunch of different things. We were walking. She was walking with me in the hall. Every time I had a contraction, I would slow dance with her and work through it. And this whole time I wasn't able to eat, but I was chewing on ice and I was chewing gum the whole time because gum just seemed to distract me. I think I chewed that same piece of gum for like 8 hours, right?
It was a long time.
Extra.
Don't you want another piece?
The extra, the green spearmint gum, the extra. I think I've talked about it in other videos. I could chew that gum all day, one piece, and it doesn't lose flavor. Anyway, I was chewing gum, and my doula was amazing. She's also a midwife, and she delivers babies, so she was very helpful with just in general. Like, she knew a lot of the stuff the nurses were talking about, and she knew what was coming next, and she was able to tell me what to do and how to prepare, and yeah, so...
She was awesome.
She was awesome. And I'm going to do a separate video with her just about how things we did to get through labor, because she did a lot of different things with me, and she helped the baby move a lot, I feel like. So the baby was not coming down. She was -2 every time they checked me, and what time would you say?
I want to say you were at 9 centimeters at 3 p.m. and you were at 9 centimeters at 11 p.m.
So it got to be around 9-10 p.m. and my doctor kept saying, you know, she's not turning, she's not moving. So, and at this point, how many people have checked me? How many people stick their hand and go whoop and they check you? And let me just tell you, folks, it does not feel good when people check you. It is horrible, horrible pain. I think I told one of the people that checked me, it's not a clown car. It hurts. Like, one lady just went for the whole full Monty and she just stuck her whole...
I was going to say, the one doctor, I think she was trying to take her tonsils.
It was insane.
She was digging deep.
So my doctor came in and she said, I'm going to try and move the baby. And I was like, oh, Jesus. So she went in there and she was rotating the baby and trying to move the baby. Because her head was up like this, so her chin was up and her shoulder was in a position that
wasn't going to clear the pelvis.
It wasn't letting her come down. So by this time it was 10 o'clock. I was in the tub. My doctor said to me, you've done a great job. She said, you really did a great job with this whole, she goes, you did everything you wanted to do in your birth plan. She said, you've been a trooper, and I really think that you need a little bit of Pitocin to make your contractions come closer together. She said, and I think you need an epidural so that you could relax, because by this point I was exhausted. I was starting to not cope with the contractions well, because it was just such a long day, and they were really bad.
And her contractions stopped coming as frequently.
Right.
You were at 2 minutes, and
right.
By the time 10 o'clock came around, they were like over 5 minutes
right.
apart. So
that's why they wanted to give me the Pitocin, because the Pitocin would make the contractions come closer together, and the epidural would make me relax so that she could come down.
And once again, the doula was incredible at this point, because Lise was hysterical because she wanted a natural birth, and here comes all the drugs and all the horror stories that you read about and hear about. And it's like, no, here we go. But she's like, we're saving a vaginal birth.
She said, you know, she goes, I know you want the natural birth. She said, but there comes a point in time where you get your vaginal birth. She said sometimes Pitocin and an epidural need to come into play. She said, and I'm telling you, she said, I deliver babies. She goes, you need the Pitocin and epidural at this point for this to happen. Because the doctor basically said, we're going to do this with the Pitocin, we're going to do this with the epidural. If it doesn't work in an hour, then we're going to go get this baby out. Because my bag had been ruptured for 26 hours at this point. So, so I started panicking because here's me thinking, well, here's me. I did 19 hours of labor with no drugs, and now it all is going to turn into a shitstorm, and I'm going to end up having Pitocin, an epidural, and a C-section, all the things I did not want. But they started the Pitocin, and they said it would be about 20 minutes, 25 minutes for the epidural guy to come. So I'm laying there, they put the Pitocin in, and the Pitocin made the contractions so much worse and so much closer together that when the epidural guy came in, I didn't give a shit that I was given an epidural. I told him I was going to kiss his face if he helped me. I don't even know what I said to the guy, but they made everybody leave the room. My doctor stayed in the room with me, my doctor was amazing. She respected everything on my birth plan. She tried everything in her power to let me have a vaginal birth because she knew that was really what I wanted. So she stayed in the room with me. She let me put my head on her shoulder and she hugged me while I did the epidural. The epidural, I don't know what everybody complains about. It was not bad. I didn't even feel him do it on my back because I think they do like a local numbing agent so you don't feel it going in. And at that point, I was in so much pain with the contractions, I didn't give a shit about the epidural. I was like, put it in, hurry up. So he put it in.
When I came back in the room afterward, I wanted to kill the guy because there was like a pool of blood underneath her. I don't know if he was just like, just stabbing her.
No, he was
there was blood everywhere on her back. And
well,
they were
moving me a lot too. But anyway, so I got the epidural. He gave me the epidural, and I laid down, and he's standing there, and he said, okay. And he goes, are you chewing gum? And I said, yes, because I was still chewing that same piece of gum. And he said, you can't chew gum. So I spit it out. I was upset. And he said, can you wiggle your toes? And he told me to wiggle my toes. As I'm wiggling my toes, they start feeling very funky. So I was like, I said, no, I'm losing feeling. So he goes, all right. He goes, you should feel good in about 2 to 5 minutes. Okay. So I was like, I could kiss your face, really. Thank you so much. So I kept thanking him. I think I thanked him a million times. So he left because then I finally felt nothing. I felt that when the contractions came, all I felt was a little pressure like in my butt. And I knew when they were coming. Oh, I knew when they were coming, but I did not feel the contraction pain. So
we would watch the monitor and we're like, there's a spike, that's a contraction, push.
And also at this point, people kept coming in to check me, and I didn't feel it. I was like, you want to check me? Come on. Hey, you want to check me? Come on, check me. Because I didn't feel anything at this point.
Car door's open, come on in.
Car door's open, come and check me. So, so anyway, they get the epidural. They told me I was going to relax and rest. But in order to make her come down, they needed to move me in different positions.
Every 10 minutes.
Every 10 minutes, these nurses came in, and these nurses were amazing because here's me pregnant. I was 220 pounds of just dead weight because of the epidural, and these little bitty nurses that are this big.
Katie was like 125 pounds.
She's like they're lifting me and moving me in these weird positions that I have bruises all over my legs because I don't know what the hell they were doing to me, but. Needless to say, after the doctor came back in, after the hour after having the epidural, she came back in, she checked me. I was dreading that check because that was going to be the telltale of if I needed a C-section or if we were going to start pushing. She came in and she put her hand in there and she said, all right, we're going to start pushing. I was like, shut up. I think I said shut up like 10 times. Yep. And then all of a sudden, I got like this burst of energy and I was so ready. I was like, all right, let's do this. Let's push. So all of a sudden, all these people started moving around. They put my feet in the stirrups, and we started pushing. So I could not feel anything down there. So she shut off the epidural. I only had the epidural on for what?
An hour.
They
11 to 12.
They only had the epidural on for 1 hour, and they also shut the Pitocin off. I think too, right? I'm not sure. So. I'm not sure. But anyway, they shut the epidural off, and they got me ready to start pushing. And they gave me an oxygen mask because they didn't want the baby's heart rate to drop while I was pushing. So they put the oxygen mask on me, and all of a sudden I felt like I was going to throw up, because this position they have you in, laying down, is your knees are up by your ears. Like Bill had one leg, my doula had the other leg. Your legs are up here. My mom was holding my head and my neck up on the right side, and they tell you to bear down and push, you know. And when you do this, I had these monitors on my belly that were pushing into my belly, and the baby's in the belly. So like while you're pushing, I felt like I was going to throw up. So I tell the nurse, I'm like, I feel really sick right now. And she goes, do you want some Zofran? I said, I need Zofran like now. So my mom went to the other side of the room because she doesn't like vomit either. They gave me the Zofran. Within 5 minutes, I felt better. And I said, you know, I can't wear this oxygen mask. It's making me claustrophobic. So I took it off, and every time between pushing, I would hold it on my face, but I could not wear it on my face. So every time I felt a contraction come, I would feel pressure, like I was going to go number 2. And I would tell her, okay, I feel pressure. And they would look. They're like, yep, that's a contraction. Let's get pushing. So I would start pushing and pushing and pushing. Baby's head was not coming out. She was
45 minutes.
45 minutes in, the baby's head was there. You saw her head, you saw the hair, but it was not coming out. So my doctor came back in the room, and she said, we're going to just use a vacuum to help her out. She said, because this is not, she goes, we need to get her out, because I think at that point her heart rate had started to drop a little bit. So they got the vacuum, which I don't even remember seeing or feeling it or anything, but they brought a mirror in, and I saw the mirror. And I feel like when I saw her there, it was like another burst of energy. And I just started pushing and pushing and pushing. And what nobody tells you is, and I'm sorry if this is TMI for anybody, men that are watching or whatever, but you're watching a pregnancy, labor, and delivery video, so too bad. They tell you to push with your butt. So I'm pushing like I have to go number 2. And I'm watching in the mirror as my hemorrhoids grow to the size of a cheeseburger, because it was ridiculous. Like, I'm watching it and I'm going, oh my God, I'm pushing. And this thing is growing like huge, but what are you supposed to do? Because that's how you have to push, right?
On an epidural.
On an epidural. So we pushed. The vacuum got her out. I saw her come out. And she had the cord around her neck. It wasn't tight around her neck. It was just around her neck. I think you looked for a minute. Did you look?
I'm going to go back and add pieces in that you've blown through. So.
Okay, go ahead. I don't know what I'm blowing
Yeah, she was
through.
she was on a roll. I wasn't going to try and stop her.
What?
So it was about 45 minutes where you were pushing and pushing, and that's when the baby's head, you didn't just see the base of the head, it was a little further out, and that's when they wheeled or rolled the mirror in, and then the doctor on the next push, because you do like a sit-up and pull up, and that's where we would pull her head up, that's when you saw the head. And when she saw the head coming out, it was like crazy person. That's when it's just like a whole nother level. She just started pushing like mad, and you could see it. It was trying to go. It just wasn't quite there. That's where they got the vacuum, because the doctor took a step back, kind of did one of these, looked at the monitor, looked at her, looked at the monitor, and yeah, well, almost like that. Well, the baby almost came out like, but there were like at that point, 10 people came flying into rooms, started happening, and at that point I got scared, because I'm like, okay, there's way too many people in scrubs in here. I thought she was getting cut open at that point, and I didn't even see her get the suction.
Right.
But next thing you know, because I was purposely not trying to look at the lower region.
Oh no, he was up.
I was up. I had her by the.
My mom and my doula were down there.
Yeah.
And and I'm like, Mom, what are you doing? She's like, I want to see this. I want to see it all. Like
because there are things that you cannot unsee, and unfortunately, I caught a glimpse of the hemorrhoid. Oh, yeah, I'm never gonna be able to unsee that. And then the second time that I peeked, half a baby was hanging out of her.
And they grabbed her out, and that vision is in my head, and it amazes me because I still look at her and I'm like, oh my God, she was in my belly. Like I can't even believe it. Like when they were pulling her out, let me tell you also, it felt like such a relief. Like when they pulled her out, it felt like the biggest number 2 ever in my life. And it felt so good that I remember I was like, oh, and then they took the placenta out. My doctor took the placenta out.
Step back. They pulled the baby out, and the best thing that could have happened, She screamed.
Oh, well, because I had asked for skin to skin, and the neonatal doctor came in and said, you could have skin to skin as long as she cries when she comes out. She said if she comes out and she's quiet, we need to take her away and examine her.
She wailed like a banshee.
She was wailing when she came out, and they put her right on me, blood and all, and I didn't care. I was like, oh my God, it's a moment that you can't even explain it because it was amazing. I'm looking at him, I'm going, oh my God, he's going, she's here. And she was there.
And her lungs were good. That's what we were worried about, being 4 weeks early. We're like, oh, please be good with the lungs.
They said that girls mature faster than boys, so that was a good thing also. So they put her on my chest right away. They swept her off to the side just to check all of her vitals real quick, and within about 5 minutes, I would say I had her back.
She was in the same room. She was 5 feet away.
Yeah. My doula took pictures of everything, so I will be doing a slideshow eventually of like all the decent pictures, of course. But got her back, did skin to skin for a while, and just took my moment, man, because that's what I've been waiting for my whole life. Like, I can't even explain what it feels like. Like, even when I do skin to skin with her now, like, it's the most amazing. It's what I've waited for my whole life. Right? It's just amazing. And I look at her and I can't believe she was in my belly because I don't have a belly anymore. Like, I keep telling Bill, it's so, like, it kind of bothers me that I didn't get to say goodbye to it. As soon as that, as sad as that sounds, I didn't really... She's waking up.
It's time to eat.
As sad as that sounds, grab her. We'll get a grab her. As sad as it sounds, I didn't get a chance to cope with how fast everything happened. I mean, my water broke, we went in, I had the baby, I got out of the bed to walk into the next hospital room, and my belly was gone. And, yeah, and here's the little monkey. Hey, little monkey. And, my little baby girl. And there she is. And I can't not believe, right, Mama? My baby girl? That she was in my belly. Because it's just amazing. It's just amazing, right? I love her. I cannot say it enough. Like, it's like an instant mama bear love that I cannot even explain. Like, it's a feeling that everybody kept telling me. I can't wait for you to feel this. It's a feeling that everybody kept telling me. I can't wait for you to have that feeling when she comes out and she's on your chest, and it was the best feeling of my life, I have to say. So we got her, and she had to stay in the NICU for
10 days.
10 days. Firstly, because she wasn't sucking the bottle as good.
She didn't eat the first
4 days, yeah. So they had to give her a little feeding tube in her nose, which made me so sad. But after 4 days, she started feeding, and she started latching on too. So that's good. So we're working on that, and we're working on.
The other problem she had that when she was in there, right around feeding time, they don't know if it was reflux or what they call it, apnea.
Yeah.
Her oxygen level would drop, her heart level would drop, and it would just be for a few seconds, and then she'd like startle herself, and
I think
it would come back
They
up.
had to stimulate her one time or twice or something. Like, if they have to actually stimulate her to come out of
That's
it,
not good.
they have to chart it, and then that prolongs her NICU stay. So that was part of the reason she was in there so long. But it is the most. I know a lot of you wrote me and told me, well, my kids were in the NICU and da-da-da, but to go through infertility and to wait so long to have a baby, we finally have our baby, and then you still can't have your baby. Like, I just felt like it was a sick joke because she couldn't even be in the hospital room with us. She had to stay in the NICU. So it's like, I'm like, well, we have the baby now, but we can't have the baby. Like, we had to go home every night, and it's just, it added on to like I'm like, really? Can we just have the baby? Can we just take her home? But I know that it was best.
There's silver linings. These are some of the complaints, but there were things that were, she's good. I mean, they were very minor.
I know she needed to be in there. I know it, but it was just part of the whole. I'm like, I just want my baby. Like, I just had her. I want her with me. I did not want to be apart from her. So Bill would drop me off every day on his way to work. I would stay there all day. he would come back after work and we would stay there for a few more hours so that he could spend some time with her. We'd come home by 8, 9 o'clock and eat and do it all again the next morning. Mind you, I have been pumping every 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours.
So
Since I had her.
we weren't getting any sleep
So
before
I wasn't
she
getting
came
any
home.
sleep because he was helping me a lot.
Because she couldn't sit.
Yeah.
She wasn't supposed to walk stairs.
Let's go
she
back.
can't drive for 2 weeks.
Let's go back. Let's go back.
We totally missed this.
We totally missed this. So I tore really bad on the inside.
Baby tore mommy a new one.
She really did. And my doctor said that I bled more than your average bear. And my mom keeps saying that there was a bucket on the floor full of blood, but my doctor said that it's blood from everything else, like from when the baby came out. But there was a lot of blood coming from me too. So I have over...
The doctor would not tell us how many stitches
She said
got.
over 50 stitches. That's all she would tell me. She goes, you have over 50 stitches. Inside. Not
Internal.
outside. Inside. So, ladies, I'm sure you can imagine how nice that feels. Does not feel nice at all. The hemorrhoid went away in 2 days. Believe it or not, it went away that fast. My nurse came in. She goes, oh my goodness, it's gone. I'm like, thank God. Because I couldn't sit.
She still can't sit.
I still can't sit. It's very hard for me to sit, but I have a pillow that I have to sit on. And whoever came up with that bottle, that squirt bottle that you clean your dainty bits with, that is a great bottle, let me just tell you. Because you can't it hurts. Let me just tell you that. It's getting better now. We're 13 days past our labor and delivery now, and it's getting better.
She can almost sit normal.
My doctor, I told her, she stopped in the other day and she said, how do you feeling? And I said, well, it's kind of burning when I pee. And she said, come up, I want to do a urine test. I want to make sure that you don't have an infection. So I went up the other day and she told me that she thought she saw some tissue or blood in there. So they put me on a drug that starts with an M to pass tissue and clots and stuff. And if it didn't clear by yesterday, I would need a DNC. So we went yesterday, she looked in the ultrasound. They did an internal ultrasound this time. Oh. They did an internal ultrasound this time, which they let me put it in myself because I was so scared that it was gonna, I don't want anything in there right now. And she actually found out that there was no tissue or placenta remains, that it was just blood clots. So she actually went in while I was there yesterday, took out all the blood clots. It didn't feel good, trust me. And put me on one more day of that medicine, and I have to go back tomorrow now to see if it hasn't come back. I'm good. If it has come back, I have to have a DNC. So it's not over yet. We're not out of the woods yet, but hopefully we will be soon because we have her home now. We got to take her home on Sunday, and
she's eating and pooping up a storm.
She's eating and pooping up a storm. She's a great sleeper. She sleeps all day. She wakes up to poop and she wakes up to eat, and that's pretty much it. And she's such a little snuggler, and she loves her co-sleeper. And cloth diapers, my cloth diapers don't fit her yet. She's so tiny. She's really, really tiny, guys. So it's going to be probably a month or two before she fits into my diapers, but that's okay because we got a bunch of diapers at the shower that we can use. So
for those of you not on Facebook or Instagram, she was 6 pounds 6 ounces, 19 and a half inches.
Yep.
When she came home, she was 6 pounds 9'7".
Yeah.
And then
yesterday we had her
she
doctor
was
appointment.
6'11".
She was 6'11" and she's 20 inches, so she already gained and grew a little bit. So she's got a full head of hair.
Have to do a close
And
up.
she's super, super cute. I can't even. She's perfect. She's got a perfect head. All of her facial features are perfectly proportioned. Like I can't even. These little hands, I can't stop kissing them. I just love her. I love every bit of her, and I can't get enough of her. And Bill is just like, he's just like putty. The way he talks to her, I can't even believe it. But she's super cute. I don't know. Bill's gonna have to zoom in on her. Sorry guys, I'm in my robe because I am nursing and pumping all day long. That's all I do. So, but there she is. You gonna see her? Let's see. Look at that little monkeys. Can you see her?
Yep.
Oh, my little monkey. She's so cute. I love her. I love her. I love her. I love her. So, oh, she doesn't even want that. So that's it. Little sleepyhead. My little sleepyhead. And so this is it, guys. This is our family. I'm so excited, and I'm happy she's home with us now, and we've started getting into like a little bit of a routine. And
she was a trooper the first bath.
Yeah, she had her first bath today, and she loved it. And are you opening your eyes? Yeah. And that's pretty much it. We're getting her on the boob more and more. When I was in the hospital, they only allowed her on twice a day because they said it tires her out so much. But at the doctor yesterday, they said we can get her on as many times as we want during the day. So I've been trying to get her on the boob more and more. She likes the boob. She tries latching on to Bill. Pretty funny. She just opens. She's like, ah. He's like, Leash, she wants a boob.
She wants the boob.
So,
she wants something right now.
I am producing a lot of milk. I have a lot of milk in the fridge right now. So if that keeps up and I end up getting a lot of milk, I might actually donate it. My doula has a store, a baby store, and I know she could direct me to somebody that could use it, because I know a lot of moms do want to use breast milk. So, yeah.
Hopefully you'll be meeting her doula very soon.
Yes.
Because there's a couple videos that we want to do with her.
Yes.
Because she was awesome. She was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Through the whole experience, hire a doula that knows what they're doing.
Yep.
It was totally worth the money. Yep. And then the other thing to suggest is pick a doctor that's going to deliver your baby that has a personal connection, because they will go, I feel like they will go the extra mile for you when they have that personal connection. If it's just some random doctor, they may, she may not have given Lise the opportunity to do everything that she wanted.
Yeah, she really she knows me, she knows my mom. She's more of a natural OB. I mean, a lot of people like to say that OBs are cutters and stuff, but she's not. She's more of a natural. She will go the natural route first, and if then you can't do that, then she will cut. But they do what they have to do. She did everything I wanted to do in my birth plan. Everything in my birth plan, I got what I wanted, pretty much. Yep. John Mayer, I know a lot of people during my updates were saying, I don't hear John Mayer in the background. John Mayer played all 24 hours or 26 hours.
She owns, I want to say, every album and live album that he's put out. We had to listen to it twice.
It was amazing. He sang to me the whole time, and baby girl obviously liked it because she her heart rate didn't drop until she was almost ready to come out.
Yeah, actually, her heart rate
stayed
was awesome
yeah.
until probably about 1:45.
Yeah.
26 hours later. Yep. So she was a trooper.
She was good. They had me on an antibiotic at some point because my bag had ruptured, and they just wanted to ensure that nothing happened from the rupture. When she came out, they had her on an antibiotic just to make sure she didn't get anything from my bag being ruptured so long. I think that's it though. Besides just healing from my problems down below, from my dainty bits, and pumping every 2 hours, and feeding her and changing her diapers. That's pretty much been our lives the past 13 days. Bill is home with me for 2 weeks now, so that he can get a feel for what our routine will be, and then
more to help her out, because she's not supposed to go up and down
the stairs. I can't drive, I can't pick up anything, I can't push anything, so literally if I drop something, I just look at it and I'm like, yeah, I can't get that. Like he's
I'll sit here, I hear doom, I'm like, oh, what was that? Yeah. Let's go see what that was.
He's like, I'm finding shit all over the floor. I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't pick it up. So yeah, that's awesome. My nurses were all amazing in the hospital. It's kind of funny. A bunch of them followed me on Instagram after that day. I was like, oh look. It was kind of funny. But they were all amazing. I have nothing bad to say about the hospital or the nurses or my doctor. They're all amazing. So yeah, it was everything I wanted it to be. Even though I had the Pitocin and epidural, the epidural was freaking amazing, and it got me ready for round 3. So I kind of got to experience it all. The thing is like, this is my only pregnancy. I'm probably not. I mean, I'm not going to get pregnant again because we can't afford to do another egg donor cycle, and we're not supposed to get pregnant with my eggs on our own. Short of a miracle, we're not going to be pregnant again. So it was kind of cool because I got to experience labor with no drugs, and then I got to experience the epidural, which I really didn't want to experience, but after I experienced it, it was amazing. So got to experience Pitocin, got to experience seeing the baby come out skin to skin, got to experience everything I wanted to experience. I just miss my belly. I know how stupid it sounds, but it sounds really...
We just barely got in. Her friend does photography, and the Sunday
Yeah.
Sunday before she went on Labor Tuesday night,
We had
'cause
our
we went out
maternity
and
shoot.
did a shoot, so we just got those pictures in.
Which I will
Otherwise-
do. I'll do a separate video with all those pictures, like a slideshow when I get I'm getting the disc in the mail next week. So, but we did our maternity shoot, and I'm so glad we did because my belly is gone. Like I've lost 24 pounds in the past 13 days, and I think I gained like 31 or 33 pounds during the whole pregnancy. So it's gone, and it just makes me sad. But she's here, and I'm happy she's here. So yeah, this is it, guys. This is what we've been waiting for. She just turned 37 weeks on Sunday, so she's here now. And Easter was my original due date, but she's going to be 38 weeks on Sunday. So we couldn't be happier. Honestly, this is just. When we walked in the house, I could not believe. I started crying. I'm like, there's a baby in our house. Like, we have a baby. Like, I look at her laying there, and I'm like, this is our baby. This is our baby girl. My baby girl. Right? So, stay tuned for a bunch more videos. I have a nursery tour. I have a maternity shoot tour. We have labor and delivery with my doula video. My little monkey.
her little playroom.
Oh, she's pooping.
And a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of the products that we have been using, she's going to go over those.
Yeah,
because
stuff-
some of them have been awesome.
Yeah, the shower, like a shower haul. Oh, she wants a boob. Okay, so
Turn
that's
it
it.
off.
Turn the video off. Just stay tuned. There's going to be a bunch of videos. I just need a couple more days, maybe another week just to get situated. And once I'm better and rested myself, I'm going to start getting some videos out there. So thank you for being so patient. Thank you for all the support and the awesome comments and messages welcoming her into this world because she's got so much love. She's got so much love already. And I can't handle it. I can't handle how cute she is. So, that's all. You got anything else? No. Bill, and I also have to say, we did take the Bradley Method class, and Bill was an awesome, he was calm the whole time, stayed by me the whole time, rubbed my back. I told him what I liked and what I didn't like. Like, if he was rubbing my back too hard, I would be like, no, too hard. So he would slow it down. Like, it was a good experience for both of us, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's all, guys. If you have any questions for me, leave them below. Maybe we'll do another video if we get enough questions. But this was pretty much it in a nutshell. Hopefully it wasn't too long. And we will see you guys real soon.
Bye.
Bye.